Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news. We have a resignation from the Conservative Party of Canada, the Conservative Caucus, and his name is Richard Martel. He's from Quebec, and he was the MP of Chicoutimi-Le-Fjord. Now, the interesting thing about this resignation is he is immediately going to be joining the Senate, so he was appointed there by Mark Carney. Now, we have heard many rumors about offers being made to the Quebec MPs. We've heard many rumors of discussions with the Quebec MPs by Mark Carney and his staff, but nothing has really materialized until now. So this is fascinating because it's not a floor crossing to actually give Mark Carney another seat, but it's a resignation to empty a seat in the Conservative Party. Now, part of this is probably intended to show Mr. Poilievre's weak leadership, and in the Globe and Mail article that was breaking this, they specifically say this is the fifth seat that the Conservatives have lost. Well, they don't seem to bother talking about the fact that the Liberals have also lost 5 MPs as well from their party. But again, this is the narrative that we're constantly seeing. When Mark Carney loses somebody, it's no big deal. But when Pierre Poilievre loses somebody, it's what's wrong with Pierre Poilievre's leadership, right? So this is where we're at. Now, this also comes right after the new shadow cabinet was announced. So that's also something interesting here. And I also find it fascinating that he is being appointed as a senator immediately. So there was obviously talks going on between Mark Carney and Richard Martel. Perhaps Martel was demanding a cabinet position. We've heard rumors that some Quebec MPs were demanding that with the Liberals, and the answer was going to be no. But maybe a Senate seat is a pretty cushy second prize for that, because now Martel gets to sit there for another 10 years since the man is 65 years old. And as we all know, you are a senator until 75 years, and then it's a forced retirement. So very interesting development here. Now, what does this mean for the riding of Chicoutimi-Le-Fjord? Well, the Conservatives do lead it. They lead it by a couple of points, but 338 regards it as a toss-up at this point. But this may not be the best time for this to happen, because there's a lot of negative opinion out there starting to bubble up about Mark Carney and the Liberals. So what will happen in this riding when this does go to a by-election? And that's the thing we can all be at least thankful for. At least this is going to be going to a by-election in 6 months. The other possible strategic benefit to this seat becoming open right now is it reduces the amount of opposition seats, while Mark Carney has more than a few seats that are going to be empty over the next little while, because Nate Urchigan-Smith is expected to be resigning, Stephen Guilbeault is resigning, and we have these other resignations that are already in play. So it gives him a little bit more of a cushion for his majority that he has in the House of Commons until all of these by-elections actually get sorted. So this is where we're at. So the Conservatives are down one more member of Parliament for the time being. You can expect them to be campaigning very, very hard in this riding in Quebec when the by-election actually drops, because they are in the lead right now and they can hold on to the seat, and they've held on to it for a while. So we will be taking a look to see how things develop over the next little while when Mark Carney calls his by-election, and who the next candidate is going to be for this Quebec riding that has become all of a sudden oh so important for the Conservatives.